Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Sons and Daughters of Liberty. Before we get too far into things, I want to quickly wish all the veterans out there happy Veterans Day. And thank you for the service. To those currently serving and those who are no longer serving. Good evening, Pam. Good evening, Tacky Vanilla. But, you know, today's the day that we honor our veterans, and I didn't know I had accidentally scheduled my stream over top of somebody else that I followed, and they were doing a veteran podcast. I had this scheduled for since last weekend and had completely forgot, but thankfully his show only went an hour, so I didn't have to reschedule this. I mean, tonight, I really don't have no set topics. I do have a few things I'm going to get into here in a little bit. Giving a little bit of time, see if anybody else is going to join us before I start talking about some of these issues we seem to be having with the unbound censorship that seems to be going on again. I was watching a friend's podcast last night in the middle. Well, not a friend. Somebody Pam has just introduced me to Aaron and them, and he had his main channel taken down. I was on Twitter earlier this morning, then I had seen that B. Rich for his iCitizen news here on YouTube. He was showing how he was being every one of his videos has been demonetized, except for one that actually showed a fight. But I also know some people that have similar videos. They've actually been suspended. Their accounts have been suspended or terminated because of videos like that. Now, the interesting thing about B. Rich and iCitizen News is it's actually legit news. He's got the journalist license and stuff for it, and it's a legit business process with the documents and papers, and he's still being censored. And there's a few things I do want to show you guys. I'm going to stop sharing what I'm sharing right now and actually share my computer screen. So I'm not going to be able to see chat here for a little bit. actually going to take you to if I get my mouse to work, into my Creator Studio here in a second. I want to cover just a few things in here. First thing, to all you guys that do live streams, here's one important thing you should always do. I'm behind on 3. Make sure you go to your video managers and make sure you download every video you do. Most important thing. The other important thing you need to know about. Moves and counter moves. It says it's got 10 views. Alright. 2 of those views, now 3 of those views are me because I went in there and edited. Every time you go in and edit a video, it counts as a view. This is what I want to show you. I think I brought up how my videos, I've got like 64 videos, or 65 now, and very few subscribers, all videos view counts are low. Some of it's intentional, except for the view count thing here. Yeah. Now we're going to go over to my channel real quick since I somehow managed to close out something. Like I said, moves and counter moves says I got 10 views. Basically 10 people's watched a couple minutes of it. This is why I also say it's very important to put your stuff on other platforms. Moves and counter moves. 583 views. I mean, you guys can do the math. Gab really don't give statistics. Twitter gives impressions. I think it's got like 13, so that's 3 more than what it's showing. Okay, it's got 48 impressions. I mean, does that remind you of 10? There's things I have figured out from watching other streams, and I slowly work my way back here to my live stream here. Excuse me. Now I know how to do all the meta tags and stuff. The only thing I don't do, I don't monetize this channel. You know, I don't go out looking for subscribers, which allows me to have a little bit more freedom than most, because that's something I have learned. The more subscribers these channels get, the more views these videos get. It seems the more these channels keep coming under attack, keep getting taken down. I don't agree with it. I don't like it. It goes against free speech. It goes against basically oppressing the things we can say. and it really hurts the truth community, hurts every channel out there. You know, what I don't get, I've still never quite figured out, is how can I go post this video on the Minds, on Gab, on Twitter, and get more views than what it says here on YouTube. I've done videos on this previously. That's how I know about this. I've had a couple friends that work in the tech industry talk about AIs and stuff, how the algorithms work. It hurts our Constitution. I covered this a little bit in Moves and Counter Moves, and my late afternoon coffee and chat the other day. Well, simply, our Constitution doesn't apply to corporations. You know, as we all know. Yes, YouTube gets a big cut from the ad revenue. We only get a small percentage. But it also goes what I said. YouTube's not my first platform I've been on. I've been on other social sites, created websites, created platforms on hosting servers. You're always bound by a TOS. And the one thing in the TOS that says is dogs are barking for no reason. Always says it can subject to change at any time without notice. That's how they get everybody. You know, I'll admit my content. Now, if I want to play devil's advocate, it's okay, Pam. Some of the stuff I talk about isn't advertiser friendly. I get that. Okay, I got a solution. Why don't you let people that would advertise our channels on? Then you don't have to say our stuff's not advertiser friendly. Well, how do we go about that? Well, we'd have to go about into the communities, finding people that support these types of channels and see if they would be willing to sponsor these channels. Then we'd have to petition, have them contact YouTube or Google. This is Google owned, and offer to sponsor these alternative channels. I mean, I know how this will go. They'll say no. Or they'll say yes and keep going to the status quo because you can't compete with the big corporations. You know, but you know, Be Rich brought a good point on his Twitter post today is some of the very same news that so-called other news networks have talked about. They don't demonetize them, which is one of the things when I set up this channel back in January. From learning from previous lessons for a couple of my other channels, I decided not to monetize. I'm not going to let somebody control what I can and cannot say because I chose to monetize my video. In their TOS, it's very strict. There's so many things you can't say, post, you know, just like it's gotten to the point where you don't really dare even mirror somebody's channel even though they give you permission. Because, say, YouTube hits that channel. I've seen this happen with several people and suspends that channel for that thing. They go after, with this AI and algorithms, it finds every video that is mirrored, and those channels take community strikes or get suspended, which hurts our community. Now, it's been a while since I've talked about the AI program on here. This is how it was broke down to me. They say they do. Well, two of them say they do. I don't know who the other one is. And I can prove, at least on the Facebook, I can actually prove on this, on YouTube, his videos are still up. He's still live streaming. I watched a couple of his live streams this week. They're still up. His channel hasn't went nowhere. So I call a bunch of BS on Alex Jones when he says it. Go look. He says, oh, Facebook takes down my stuff. I've been on that Facebook since he started live streaming from Facebook. I get notifications every day that he's live streaming. It's in my feeds every day. Now, Dabu's lost a couple times. He's lost his main channel, but he's got it back up. Or it's went to a backup until it came back up, because sometimes it's like a couple months, 3 months for like your second strike, 3 strikes, and you're done. You know. So I definitely call BS on Alex Jones. You know, but who's that hurt? That hurts people like us. When it happens to us, or it happens to our friends, or it's channels that we support and love to watch. This is how this AI works. This AI records, in our description, it records all our meta tags. Then as soon as we go live, it monitors our chat. It knows if you're female or male. It monitors your vocal tones, how your speech pitches. And the algorithms through the AI predicts whether if it's suitable to trend or not. It also picks up keywords, certain words that can get you flagged. I mean, this little AI of theirs is a monster. So what I've started doing is I've pretty much eliminated all my meta tags. I don't so much change. If I'm speaking on a subject, I keep my titles as a subject. If I want to talk about many things, it'll be an evening chat or late afternoon, morning coffee. You know, where I know I might touch on some subjects that they might not like. It becomes a game. You've got to play a game. Meta tags are basically your tags. When you go in there, what's this show going to be about? So I mentioned Alex Jones, so I could put Alex Jones in my tags. Government, politics, there's stuff that allows the search engines to pick it up. You know, your meta tags are supposed to be, your search engines pick them up, not only here on YouTube, but on all platforms. It reads all the meta tags that you've put into your tags under your description when you create your channels. Same principle for websites. You create meta tags, what website's about, and you start busting out the thesaurus, knowing what words mean. Words have multiple meanings to relate to the subjects you're talking about. That's how you get more searches, more hits, which we found that that's used to be how you did it. Now there's so much stuff that would just be an instant flag. Those are just some ways to stay a little ahead and skirt through the system. That's why I tell tell people I'm not about the numbers. I don't care if you thumbs it up or thumbs it down. You thumbs it down to me, well, I must have hit a nerve, must have triggered you on something. So therefore I did my job. I made you think, I made you question. Most people, they'll see somebody thumbs down their stuff in the middle of a stream and just lose it. No, that's what they want you to do. Why? Because you just went off. The AI picks up on that, and you're instantly drawing attention to your stream. Nope. You know, the problem is, our community is so divided. We got our truthers, we got our people that think more into the conspiracy stuff, people that's in certain their religion stuff. We find it hard sometimes to find common ground to be able to talk about these things amongst ourselves. People say, well, I'm just going to create another platform. Well, go ahead. So you're going to create a platform. Well, my first question is, you got 10K. That's just starting off, just to buy your own server, because that's what it's going to take to create your own platform and have your own TOS. It's going to be more than 10K when you get right down to it, unless you know how to code and do a bunch of stuff. You're going to have to pay people to do the work. You're going to have to know what software you use, open source software. You've got to know how to do maintenance on your server. Then, that's all grand. You know how it was put to me? Well, you're still going to end up getting censored. They're going to force you to confine to the rules. They're going to threaten you with sanctions, threaten you with lawsuits. He goes, basically, this dude says, you do better just going on the dark web. And he goes, and you know what happens there as soon as you go onto the dark web. I'm like, yeah. Instant tagged. They know what you're doing. There's no freedoms out there. If they want to censor us, they're going to censor us. They've been doing it for years before YouTube and all of them started doing it. They were doing it on other social network platforms. But at the same point, the more platforms you can get on and put your content, the more people you can reach. What is 4chan? 4chan is just basically another social platform, much like BuzzFeed, Twitter, Gab. They all have their functions. 4chan, more, from what I know, more the computer techie guys go there. It's more of a, what's the word I'm looking for? For old school programmers and tech guys will know what I'm talking about. It's more of a message board, which is what, back when the internet first started off, you didn't have social platforms like this. You had message boards. Like, we still find them in, like, when we go look up auto stuff. We go to, it's like a Ford site. It's pretty much a message board type site. Basically all you can do is post stuff. You can't really do videos like this. Like I said, I've always been leery of 4chan. Never created an account there. Just like Steemit. I wanted to get on Steemit. Well, I don't have a cell phone. So I can't verify my account to get on Steemit. But in the end, it's all the same thing. There's still a TOS. You're only as free as you let yourself be. You can take the approach I take. Screw it, I'm going to say what I want. I'm going to, it'd be nice to have a bunch of followers, be able to people to talk to and chat, because I've got a few things I want to do. Like, what would you do? is what me and a couple of friends are going to call it. We've done it before on a website. Basically, we come up with a scenario with you guys in chat. What would you do? It takes more than 3 or 4 people to get a topic going. What it does, it's just another website. It's just another site where you can stream, post videos, blogs. Except for it's more built on the blockchain technology, which, yeah, that's a little beyond me. I understand it a little bit, but nothing to talk about to where I could sit here and thoroughly break it down and explain it. I mean, we think tech's good. Tech is great until you start realizing what is some of this technology that's out there, which is something I'm going to get into tonight. But first, before we get into that, we need to understand some things. We need to understand language. We need to understand that every letter of the alphabet has a numeric number. Easiest language to understand this is actually, the easiest alphabet to understand this and teach somebody about this is using actually the Hebrew alphabet. Because they don't really have vowels. It is a letter numeric based system. What is code? Letter numeric based system. I'm going to try to keep all the esotericness out of it, but there's also an importance to understand that, because that's what we're bombarded with every day. Most people don't know it, don't understand it, can't protect themselves against it. Most people don't understand how dangerous an image that you see and keep sharing is. An image, in a sense, is a sigil. Just like probably I don't think it was anybody's intention when they created the MAGA, Make America Great Again, but that is actually a sigil. I'm going to use chat here for a second. So, when we create a letter sigil, normally what you would do, I'll just use my nickname. You'll take that, and you drop all repeating letters. Now, depending on the alphabet you're using, I said Hebrew is the easiest, so which don't change. They actually have an INE in the Hebrew. The end result would be S-M-I-L-E, which don't change, which is smile. And it has a numeric value. So now, not only do I have a letter value as a sigil, but hey, wait, I can go one step further. That is a sigil. How do I get rid of this? These are sigils. They're images, yes. You like the video, you hit the thumbs up. You dislike the video, or you were triggered by the video, you hit the thumbs down. You're happy, you put the emote in. You're sad, you put the emote in. I mean, there's tons of esoteric stuff to go even deeper into this so you understand. I'm just trying to make small points so I don't make people mad and think, oh, you're evil. I'm trying to show you guys how much of this stuff's actually in your face every day. Right now, you're staring at, from whatever device you're looking and watching, listening to me on, a black mirror, a scrying mirror, Ouija board, whatever you want to call it. What is an AI? Well, an AI is an inanimate object, correct. It's programmed by what? Numbers of letters. It's housed on some type of software, which therefore it's a temple. What is your body? This is more Christian-based now. Our bodies is our temple. What's our temple's house? Our soul. So now we create an AI. Well, we create a temple for the AI to hype, because it's self-evolving, self-learning. We can only stay, even the way I'm doing it, stay ahead of the AI for so long. I can only manipulate the AI for so long before eventually I'm going to be finding myself going to a backup channel. Why? Because it's self-evolving. But what is the danger of the AI? The danger of the AI is it can be possessed. It can be controlled. It can be manipulated. Just like your little black screens here, you've got open gateways into your homes. Always emitting frequencies and vibrations. Which I know for some of you might say, well, what the hell does this have to do with Sons and Daughters of Liberty? Quite a little bit, actually. Because they use these things, just like they use images all the time. I'll give you the perfect example of a sigil. Mickey D's, the Arch, the M. We see it, we recognize it for what it is. We know it's McDonald's. Corporations use this big time. Advertisement uses it all the time. It's how they get people to, it's a psychological warfare. It's how they get to manipulate and to buy something that you wouldn't normally to buy. Which now I say, what does Sons and Daughters of Liberty have to do with topics like this? They're taking your individual freedoms away and controlling you. These things are used to control. Nothing wrong with tech. I would never know how to create my own website from the ground up, write my own code, build my own platforms, do my graphics and stuff if it wasn't for YouTube. I wouldn't know how to do some do-it-yourself projects that I've learned just by watching YouTube videos. Tech in the right hands, technology in the right hands can be a beautiful thing. In the wrong hands, it can be used to manipulate, control, take your freedoms away. You know, we see it all the time. I talk about information, disinformation. They actually use this whole process now because everybody's plugged in. So we have the matrix syndrome because we're all plugged in. We all got our devices. You know, I know some people, they joke around, but it is true. Their best babysitter is their Kindle or their iPad for the kids. Now, would you actually want your kids spending all that time after hearing some of the things I just said? Yes. Okay, you're giving permission. You're giving consent. That's one thing, no matter what faith you believe in, That's actually the one common thing. You can't be possessed unless you give consent. You can't allow something in. That's why I want to cover this, to teach you guys how to protect it. You can't, if you do not give something consent, I mean, yeah, you're going to have to go into your face. I mean, Catholics will be easy. Have a priest and come bless your stuff, bless your house. For those that aren't, do the Lord's Prayer, or whatever your faith dictates. Native Americans, grab some tobacco, smudge sticks. The problem is, that is one of the other problems. They don't want you guys to know these things, so they'll find ways to divide our community. So if I start talking about these things, oh, you're evil. You're talking about occult stuff. Yeah, kind of. Not really. To a sense, yes. I'm just telling you what they're using against you. The cult community are aware of this. And they don't got stuff coming in and out of their houses. They see the images and recognize them instantly for what they're for. Oh, somebody created a sigil. Won't be sharing that. And their defenses are instantly up. Images are dangerous. No matter how much fun we like to have fun with our memes, they can be dangerous. Especially in the hands of those that know what they're doing. Or should I say in the hands of the person that created it, because only that person knows his intent. What was his intent for that images with the things he embedded? How easy is it to make a image? Simple. I just create a blank mask, draw my little sigil on there, or words, or whatever I want it to convey, or make manifest, and put another image over it. You don't see what's behind it. And that's just the easy way. It's not even the right way to do it. That's okay. When you look at an image, best way I can explain this is, let's take abstract art. Some of the world's best Picassos and stuff in, Picasso, I think. Been a long time since art history. Everybody would look at an abstract piece, a painting or drawing or image. Everyone will see something different. They won't see, some people see a table, it looks like a table with some fruit, or somebody might say, well, that looks like a chair and a book. Images go through this, when you look at an image, it goes right straight through your psyche. It goes right straight to your conscious mind. Your eyes perceive one thing, but yet the image shows another. It's like, what's those things called that when you stare at, you'll start seeing the swirls or change patterns? Images are much the same way, just like pixels. Well, pixels is a whole other ballgame right now. Certain colors will trigger people certain ways. It's all psychological warfare. Another example with images. Let's say let's say we're bombarded with an image over and over. Let's use, and don't want to say the word, let's just say any of the protests that we see. The signs and stuff. Those are all images. Those are all, in a sense, a form of sigils. We start seeing them over and over. Eventually we become numb to them. And they don't make sense when we see them used in other areas. Plus now we're dealing in the age of really powerful pixels. And we're on 4K Ultra, I think now, isn't the new oldest tech. When we start dealing with pixels, we're dealing with a bunch of stuff. Let's just keep it on the, anybody heard of, you guys look up Mesmer. You know, to flash certain colors to kind of put you in a hypnotic trance or give you implant suggestion. It's just like, Pam's heard some of my previous videos when I talk about words. Sometimes when you keep repeating stuff over and over is dangerous, like trans movement. It was trans-Pacific this, trans something that. Next thing you know, we're talking about transgender bathrooms. But before that came about, they bombarded you with the Trans-Pacific pipeline, the whatever that stupid pact was during the previous administration, and they do these things to dull you to the word. So when next time you hear it, when they want to bring up their little agenda, whatever it may be at the time, people get so numb to it, it's like, oh, okay. When they might have to vote on it, they see it, oh, trans, okay, they're talking about, okay. It's manipulation, mental, drip by drip, except for now they do it a little bit faster than drip, drip. In the same token, they also do this with all these groups, all these labels. Labels is another bad thing. And they infiltrate these groups. Next thing, what the alt-right started out as isn't what the alt-right is now. Why? Because, well, I blame that on the alt-right. They didn't let some of the people in. They just let anybody in that was speaking a little bit of truth, then slowly sliding their twisted eugenic ideas, racial ideas, IQ ideas. You know, just like on these channels. I mean, we are a diverse community. There's so much information that people have. Most people can't be open and minded enough to listen to other people. Why? Because they go against their belief. Oh yeah, that word. Exactly. I mean, honestly, I laugh sometimes. I think I'm back in high school again. I mean, because what is a label? Oh, we had our We had our preppy people. We had, as they would call us, lowlifes, and various other, stereotypes, better word, but, and we give those things power. They mess with our psyche. But in a sense, we're programmed that. Like, perfect, here's a better example of labels and stereotypes. Poor, middle class, upper class, rich, wealthy, elite. We find ourselves in those categories, those labels, those stereotypes. Yeah, exactly. Triggering can be a good thing, can be a bad thing. The way they use it is bad. To trigger somebody to wake them up and to make them think and question is another thing. The part I got so fed up with lately, started unfollowing a bunch of people that I was following, because it's like I started following you from the beginning, listening, seeing some of your ideas, and now all of a sudden it's just gotten so far left field, not me being nice, that it's not even funny. How'd you go from maybe some great ideas to way over here all of a sudden? Can't you guys see what you're doing? No, apparently not. Everybody else can see it. Just like I made a comment, no boy did I get some nice mail about that one. Everybody wants to claim they're red pill. So I decided, well, let's use the terminology of the red pill. Let's look at it more than a Christian sense. Eating the forbidden fruit, what did it do? It gave us free will, gave us all that knowledge, all that wisdom. Now, I actually recognize, I know that you're actually naked and standing in front of me. And all that knowledge that was not meant for us to have. What is the red pill? Is it not the forbidden fruit? Now you're supposedly have all this knowledge. I don't see an awakening there. I don't see a change. In fact, I see it got so perverted it's not funny. Because now you're taking on ideologies, philosophies that we had gotten rid of years ago. I mean, before my time ago. Now you've taken that ideology, you've killed almost every movement out there, even the feminist movement changed. It no longer means what it meant 20 years ago. Well, yeah, we have, and that is a big problem. That's my big issue. We got corporations. They're using these tools, like all these tools. They know it. They know how to use to manipulate, how to get us to buy something, or how to control us. Why? Well, it's simple. Like I talked about the minimum wage. What good is it to raise the minimum wage to $18 when there's no laws in place to keep the corporations from raising the prices of the products? Because what are they going to do? They're going to raise the price of the product to match the increase in the wage. Oh, wait. Now we're even more screwed because we raised minimum wage, so therefore we jumped tax brackets. Now we're making less, and they raised the prices. Just like all these advertisers, they can control the content we put. They can control our voices by saying, well, we're not going to support you. We're not going to give you money. And I can play devil advocate here because I've seen, talk to people, read stuff. YouTube goes through legal problems with the music industry because all the music that gets uploaded, they got to give a percentage Same way with Spotify. When Spotify came out, it's putting allowing all those music to be played on their platform, they end up having to cough up royalties to the musicians because it's protected. The corporations know that. So they bog them down. Well, we'll let you market our ads. So you can make money off our ads. And you can let your customers make money on our ads. Like it's a win-win. But by doing so, well, that goes against what my product stands for. I don't stand for Trump. We're just going to use this as an analogy. I don't stand for Trump and the things he say. So if they're pro-Trump, I don't want my ads on his stuff. It forces YouTube to, okay, I got to demonetize this channel. That's how it started. It started with the demonetization. Now it's gotten to a whole new level. I don't like what he's saying. It goes against what I consider the truth. If you want to keep getting my check, you need to change your algorithms, change your software, and either delete that content or give them a strike or remove the channel. There's no laws in place to protect any of us. Not that I'm standing up for what YouTube does, because YouTube's owned by Google. Google's already has a monopoly on the internet. They don't really need the money because they can afford to pay for their own lawsuits. And the truth is, I see what's happening. Eventually, I mean, they're slowly still trying to market it. Us being able to come on here and do these videos is coming to an end. I mean, you guys all heard of it. Red TV, YouTube's Red TV. $35 a month. That will be the next evolution for YouTube. Which will be a sad day because there's so much good information on here. I mean, right now they're struggling because they're competing against other places. They're competing against like Netflix, Amazon Prime. That's what happens when you have a market that don't have a bunch of markets is what I'm saying. 1984, yeah. You got just a couple groups. Interesting. I'm just now getting a notification I'm live streaming. Wow. I've been live streaming for almost an hour. You know, it's just like the stuff I use. The image you see, you guys don't see that image no more. You see my thing, but the images you see that I use, that's stuff I designed or SDA designed back when we ran our own websites and magazines. Which is another reason why I know how to meta tag. Do you think we'll get to a point where people who use this site will take a stand, or will it always be like Pam mentioned 1984? It's hard to say because people are tired of it, but it goes back to what I said earlier. Because I talked about some of the esoteric stuff, I know a certain group of people won't even, if I even talk in their chat room, they won't even acknowledge me. Because, oh, you're an occultist. You're evil. If I was so evil, I wouldn't be sharing this knowledge to you guys. So you can protect yourself so you know what to look for. I'm not a occultist. I'm not a Christian. I'm spiritual. Truths in all things if we have an open mind and we listen to ourselves. Why? So we'll start listening to ourselves, we're listening to our soul, and our soul is in communion with God. You know, yes, I may believe there might be many faces and many names of God, but they're all the one true God. That's my belief. I believe the Christian Bible is awesome. It teaches you morals. It gives you a great foundation, honestly. And it's loaded with truth. But I also know there's other truths out there. That's one side of the story. If we could put our differences aside, and find just a little bit of common ground. And this is the perfect common ground. In fact, even though you are very right. Common ground, taking a stand. If we could find common ground just on that note, not about what this channel's about, because we're all affected. We're all a community on this channel, no matter what we talk about. If we could put all those differences aside, oh yeah, we can take a stand here on many other things. Because that's how they get us. They divide us. They divide us by our religion. They divide us by our labels, whether it be Republican, Democrat, liberal, left, right. They divide us by our ideologies and philosophies. Right, they want the 1984. We don't. That's why they keep us. That's why I talked about the images tonight. They'll put these images on our face to distract us. I mean, I can explain it a lot more, but bottom line, with an image, I project whatever my will may be that I want to make manifest on this world into that image. You guys are the battery. You charge it. Every time you look at that image, you're charging that image for me to make that, whatever I decide to put into that image, come about. They know this. They do it all the time. I mean, if people could just sit back and truly have an open mind for just one day and watch our politicians, how they're showing their true colors every day. How they're showing every day they're not for you no matter what you believe in. They don't care if you're left, right, if you're a Democrat or a Republican. They're not about you. Oh, commercials are the worst. I mean, why do you think we have logos? Logos is a symbol. It is a sigil. And I don't want people to be scared now to look at an image. No. If you're, just by being a little aware, knowing that it could be, and if you actually listen to yourself, or, as I said, how to close these little gateways that we're staring at, right there. As RFD puts it, take on the armor of God. If that's your faith, take that. Use that. When you're looking at stuff on the internet, always be in that. To the occultists, be in your bubble. And they know what I mean by that. Which they always are. Except for the new ones. Oh, no, they don't. You know, that's what makes it so hard now. Because now they play us like fools. Now every event that comes up, we're now questioning that it's a false flag. We're always looking for a motive, what's behind it. Well, the simple answer to that is sometimes it goes back to the old thing. What better way to hide something than right in front of your face? Show you an image of violence. Better one. Yeah. He's a topic I'm going to stay off of. Because I think he was definitely no better. Actually, I think he's worse than what some of the cases we're hearing about right now going on in Hollywood. But yeah, I actually don't doubt that wasn't intentional either. But that's the thing. If you keep looking for these things, you're going to find them. It's all over. That's why I don't like to really care much when people go looking for signs, symbols, start playing with numerology, because it's everywhere. So I was hoping that guy last night was actually be able to talk about some of the sacred geometry. Because some answers are there. It is everywhere in nature. I can find signs, symbols, these very same numbers they keep finding. It's everywhere. So when you go down that rabbit hole, yeah, you're going to see it. Because it is everywhere. Does it always mean that something was meant to happen because of it? No. I mean, just like 99% of human beings, pi actually works. From your fingertips to your elbow is pi. Is that numerology? Yeah, today. Well, it might have been 2 days ago. I mean, you can break down the new numbers off in many ways, and most of them don't even know the right way to do it because they don't listen to people in that community because they're taught they're evil. That's simple. Most people are taught witches burn. Don't mean no offense to the witches out there, because you know the history, how that went about. Most people won't go back far enough to study some origin of words where they first came up, when they started labeling people heathens and heretics. They created the word to stop the free thinker, which is everyone that watches this that claims to be awake, you claim to be a free thinker. So therefore you are a heathen and a heretic. That's what it means. Who coined the term? Unfortunately, I don't mean to bash them, but the Catholics. The Catholic Church. And most people would actually study the history of religion and find out when their religions are oriented, because we live in a cult. In the United States, we live in a country that has multiple dominations. It used to be only one Christian church. And that dominate all these dominations, except for some of the Quakers and the monotheist monk type ones, which was pretty much all swallowed up by the Catholic churches. It all started from the separation of the church in England, with the fights between the Methodists and the Prods and separation there. From there, they were all labeled heathens, heretics. Either you're a Catholic or you're a heathen and heretic. Therefore, most of our forefathers fled because of religious persecutions. And from there, all these dominations started to come about. Does not mean that you're not Christian. Because you are. I mean, all you gotta do is watch a mass. You want to know what rituals look like? Let me ask you something. When you agree with the crowd, is that because you feel the need to agree? Because you feel what they're saying? Are you listening to yourself? Because if you're listening to yourself, you are being a free thinker. See, most people forget that even being awake, we never stopped learning. We never stopped realizing, oh, wow, I was wrong about that. I was taught wrong. We're constantly awakening. We're constantly shedding old ideas, old views. Sometimes you might want to be careful about that one, that little right there. That's, I'll cover that since I've covered some of all this stuff. It's all about tones. It goes back to what I was also saying about the AI. It picks up on our tones, our speech. Do you know how to intone the words? It goes back to numerics too. Because, well, your name has a numeric value. Before you drop all the letters out of it and stuff, that numeric value represents the vibration. Then you take that and break it down to get it down to a 1 through 9, or 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Some people say drop to 0. It depends on what you believe on that and what you're doing. Any number that can be broke down, like I was born in 77, so 1, 9, that's 10, 17, 24, 6. 24 is well, there's more to it than that. But 6 would be my sphere of operation. What I'm more drawn to in things. Adding all the stuff up that's supposed to be added would give me the vibration, what my body vibrates at. We're all unique, we're all different. You can use that vibration. If you know, this is what music, oldest weapon in the world. That's why we're drawn to certain music. So once a person that knows what they're doing, they kind of get taught this and how to speak to crowds when they take business and other speaking things. How to tone things properly to draw people in. So when I say the world is a lot scarier than most people realize, it is. And they use these very same tools even in protest, from the way they chant stuff in rhythm. Well, when a bunch of people start chanting in rhythm, it can lull people into trances. The old saying, the crowd can become the mob? Yep, very easy. Just by lulling them into a trance and working their frequencies up, which will in turn trigger emotions. And if you know the proper frequency for that emotion, you can trigger the equal reaction in that emotion. But on the positive side to that, most people don't even realize it. They don't know they're doing it, but it's how we draw people to us, like-minded people. It's much like the yin and yang. Everything has an opposite. Everything has an equal reaction. In the end, what makes a person good or bad is the intent of that person. There's bad apples in every group. But we take this one bad apple and we blame the whole group. Why? Because we're taught to. I mean, I grew up in a Baptist church. I mean, the fire and brimstone I heard about Catholics, homosexuals, that ain't nothing more than hate. Where's that have anything to do with love thy neighbor? Love is the new commandment. Or why the hate? Most Christians won't admit that. That's how they keep us divided. That's how they keep us controlled. That's why it's so easy to stir racial tensions or tensions against another person's belief. Why? A free thinker opposes it. Let me tell you the dirty little secret about science. You know what science is? Magic. They took all the esoteric knowledges and called it a different thing to match the times. I mean, study your ancient history of medieval times. They still had their seers, their clairvoyance. They just coined it another term to make it more fancy. Yeah, and you are very right. If you don't feel comfortable around loud people, leave. Your most powerful weapon is silence. Learning to mute people out. The other most important, now powerful tool is what you let in, what you give power to. That's why it's so easy to trigger people. Take a label, take a word. Name any word that bothers you. Why does it bother you? Why do you give me power over to use that word to bother you, to make you feel a certain way? You give me power like that, I can manipulate. I can use your fear, and that's what it comes down to. If you fear something, that's why I hate the term boogeyman. It's a boogeyman, you know. There's some things we can't put a face to. And 90% of the things we point our fingers to, they're just puppets. They're meant there for show. So they take the blame and not the person next to that's pulling their strings that we don't even know nothing about. And the more dangerous ones are the ones that don't care. The ones that are megalomaniacs with the God complex, thinks they're better than anybody else, you can't take me down. That's all ego. They still fear something. Yes. In the end, if you are listening to yourself, you're on the path you're supposed to be. Your own inner little voice, your soul, will guide you where you need to be. It will protect you at all times. You know, I actually found it in some old scripts, Druidic scripts from Druids. They actually say that your inner voice is the voice of God, communicating with your soul. We call them pagans, heathens, but yet there's truth there. It could be your guardian angel speaking to you through your soul. For those that believe in that. I personally do. I believe in angels just like I believe in demons. And a few other things that walk this earth that most people don't see. And thank God they don't see. You know, our forefathers had a lot of things right. They didn't want us to be controlled. They wanted us to be free. That's why the Constitution was written the way it was. We don't even abide by our Constitution. I hear people saying they're constitutionalists until it opposes their religion or it opposes their political identity. Then the Constitution doesn't apply to anybody else but them. The Constitution is very black and white. We are all to be equal. We all have the freedom of speech, freedom to express ourselves. Do I agree with hate speech? No, I can't stand it. But it is protected under our Constitution. As our Supreme Court has made countless rulings on, so I have to respect that they have the right to talk that way, express themselves. As long as they aren't taking action, they're not violating the Constitution. They can go, and I don't mean because they're out there protesting with their signs, yelling to the moon if they want to. They're peacefully protesting, even a little provoking, as long as they haven't thrown that first stone, threw a punch, pushed somebody, they haven't committed an action. They're still expressing themselves. And they are therefore protected by the Constitution. You know, in the United States, religion shouldn't even be arguably in the Constitution. You're free to believe in your religious beliefs, no matter what they are. So why do we let us be divided by it? Nothing wrong with faith. But why are we constantly going through centuries and centuries of the same propaganda warfare when it comes to religion? It's been a toll for centuries. We cannot seem to break this little cycle. Yes, I do agree on one group. They've proven through history that they're not peaceful. They refuse to evolve. That's why I got more respect. I got a lot of respect for Christians. They've evolved. I remember when a woman's role in church was to be silent. Where a woman's role, because of the dogma, even in the house, was to be submissive to the husband. We've evolved. We see women preachers now. I know it strikes a nerve with some people. We see women deacons in the churches. See, I've had the privilege of going to multiple churches, even Catholic church. I went to a Catholic school when I was in Brazil, experiencing each of the things. Subservient, thank you. Still means submissive. Tomato, tomato, I know. You know, many of our classic arguments, the Big Bang Theory versus evolution. You're both right. Big Bang happened and things evolved from it. Where's the argument? God snapped his finger, created this world. Big Bang happened. Yeah, I can see it. And from that, things evolved because we see it in nature every day. Things are evolving. We're finding new species. We're finding things that, well, dare I say it, maybe male, but yet there's no females in it. They still survive because the male evolves to be able to create things. We all, you know, We want to argue about everything. They use that to divide us, just like they've done on this channel. I mean, not channel, platform. It went from something good, beautiful, educational, where people could share their ideas, conversate with other people, learn from each other. That's what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be learning from each other so we don't repeat mistakes, so we become free thinkers and make things better. But yet we get caught up in the labels. We get caught up in this. They talk about everything but the problem. Then they just start compounding to the problem. But okay, we need to marry based on IQs, breed by IQs. Okay, I love that theory, except for psychology will prove you're wrong on that one. Some of the most highest IQ people have been some of our worst serial killers. Narcissist people. And some have been some of the best genius and created some of the best things. But that kills your theory right there. Your IQ will always grow the more you immerse yourself, the more you learn, question. It's, the old theory, book smart versus street smart. A person that has both is very dangerous. Welcome back. Why? Because they can read stuff and apply it. They have the skills. Yeah, psychopaths. Then we'll argue about big government versus little government or no government. Well, that's a good argument. Many good points on all of it. I prefer to believe less government. I don't believe in the utopia because utopia can't happen. Nature dictates that. Nature shows us it can't happen. Why? We need opposition to grow. We need, if everything has an opposite, we'll just leave it at that. The yin and yang theory. And you can't take the ego away. Everybody's got one. Don't care. You say, oh, I don't have any. You do. You're good at something, which makes you think you're better at it than anybody else. What you are is better at controlling your ego, knowing when it gets out of line and keeping it in check. You still have an ego. We all do. Or I think I'm right all the time. The fact is, yeah, for everything I was right, probably wrong 100 more times on something else. It took somebody else coming into my life, watching and observing to learn that, or listening to them, what they got to say. So I enjoy going to different people's channels, listening to them, hearing what they got to say. Something, I'll give the best example I can. And because, people see Sons and Daughters of Liberty and, draws a lot of Christian. Well, to the Christian aspect. How many times have you read the Bible? I mean, over 100 times I read it from front to back. It amazes me how every time you do, something that you've read 100 times and yet missed. It just stands right out, speaks to you right then and there. Same way with some of your most favorite books. You've read 100 times, and you still find stuff that you missed. Why? Well, at the time in your life, in your spiritual growth or your growth, you weren't ready to hear that or accept that yet. Sometimes it's other people that show us that in their conversations and talks. That's what makes a free thinker dangerous. That's what makes an open-minded person dangerous. You know, actually, that's what makes that homeless person that we pass by every day dangerous, because he might just say something one day, never said anything to us the 100 times we've walked past him, but he just said something. He wasn't even talking to us. But it triggered us. It stuck to us. Well, guess what? That message was meant for you. And 9 times out of 10, you walk up to him, ask him what he said. You say, oh, I was just talking to myself. I didn't say anything. When we're closed-minded, we miss the message. That was very important for you to hear at that time, to make either a change in your life. That's the danger with the images. These people knowing how to use the Wi-Fi, because it emits energy, frequencies, and vibrations. Knows how to create these black computer screens that can allow things to pass through for those that believe that. Disbelief can be a good thing too. But all these things, this is another thing, like I said, Christians, the Bible got it's a very powerful thing to use for a foundation. Faith without works. If you do not have faith into something, or you do not believe one wholehearted your heart, it's not going to work. Why? Faith without works is dead. I want change in my life. Well, I think it. Just because I'm thinking it, and I think I want it, doesn't mean change is going to happen. That's why a lot of people don't change until they hit, literally, rock bottom. I mean, technically it was. We don't call it the King James Bible for nothing. It's had many names since before that. Then most people forget there's more than one version of the Bible, and there's a bunch of books that never made it into it. Study the Council of Nice, where the group of people decided what was going to be in the Bible. That's why we have more than one book of Genesis. We only got one book of Genesis in the Christian Bible that I got in my house. The Book of Enoch. 7 books of Moses? Well, I seem to be on this subject, why not? Nobody ever questions what happens when you translate something. Every time you translate something, it loses its meaning. How many times has the Bible been translated? How many dead languages make it up? Well, we know Coptic, Aramaic, those are now dead languages. Most scholars attribute it to Hebrew, that it was originally, then from Hebrew it was copied into Greek, then from Greek, Latin, then from Latin to Old English. Yeah. Pancakes, potatoes, pancakes. Tomato, tomato. More than one meaning for a word. More than one saying for a word. Which one's right? Which one came first? Don't know. Scholars argued about it back and forth. Pancakes is another form of spelling pancakes. It's more of an older English. All words are modern English, except for all the new ones we've created, which the other thing people don't get. has an origin. Where did it first originate? How was it first used? And as we modernize and add definitions or change the way the word is spelled or pronounced, it starts losing meaning. Some words don't even have interpretations for in the English language. Some words that was transferred from Hebrew to Greek didn't have a Greek word for it, so they created a word. And you can actually, best example, take the original King James Version, the Old English Version, then start going from all the revisions they did. I mean, I quit counting a long time ago. When I started seeing, well, that's not what I remember learning in Sunday school. It didn't say that. Just by modernizing the language, you made it lose meaning. It no longer means what it actually originally meant. There is a danger in changing and modernizing language. It starts to lose its meaning. And you'll be amazed to see even the Old English, real Old English from what they consider King James Revised Old English. The difference. It happens in literature all the time when we take something that, let's say, some of the great Russian poets, Scottish poets, Chinese poets wrote, and we retranslate them into our, whatever our modern tongue is. It don't mean this, it loses some of its meaning or how it actually meant. See, I learned that with Portuguese. Well, I knew Portuguese, and I used the phrase knew because I lived down there off and on. I used to speak Portuguese fluent English, so I decided I'm going to college. I'm going to take Spanish class. It should be an easy 4.0. Boy, was I wrong. Just because some of the words sound the same or maybe spoke the same, it has an entirely different meaning. So I ended up having to relearn Spanish. Then I had the Spanish professor tell me this is the Spaniards version, and she would have said what she said today, would have probably been fired. You know, she used a different word for Mexican Spanish. Yes, dialects. You know, it's just important that we can talk about these things. In the end, I don't want it to change your opinions or views, but I do want to give you a different perspective to look at. Because the most important thing you have is your faith. No matter what it is. That's why, truthfully, there can be no such thing as a true atheist, because an atheist still believes in something. He might not have faith in anything. He believes in something, whether it be himself or an inanimate object. He still believes that inanimate object exists, so it destroys the idea of atheism. But everything we've talked about thus far, they use against us. They use us to divide us, to manipulate us, to make us dislike each other, hate each other, call them evil, don't watch their channel, you're not going to learn anything, he's going to lead you down a dark path. No. That's why, how can we come together and make a stand? How can we bring about the change to where our Constitution means what it means for everyone in this country. I can't speak for other countries. Sorry. You guys got to find your common ground on what your country believes in or what it needs to change. That's the other problem. I see a lot of, in the alt-right, I see a lot of Europeans that are Europeans, not Americans, dictating our politics, dictating our ideas. Nothing wrong with that if you're applying it to your country. But don't apply it to my Constitution in this country. I'm more than happy to work with you and help you find common ground so you can get your people to understand what your laws are. So yes, as you can see, I do follow a lot of people, a lot of different groups, different ideas. I listen. I mean, some people say our Constitution ain't nothing but a piece of paper now. Which, they say it. It goes back to what I said. Do we believe it? No. We don't. There's still patriots out there. There's still people that sign up to the military because they want to protect our Constitution. Today is Veterans Day. That's why they do that. They want to protect our freedoms and rights. They don't care about our religion, our belief. Right. Everybody forgets that our forefathers put in there, after a certain point, these things are not to ever be amended. To do so makes it illegal. You know, it's just like gun control. Second Amendment right. I've said this before, why I don't support. There's more than one reason why I don't support the NRA. One, they give an inch. There's no giving an inch when it comes to the Constitution. Not 1 inch. The other reason is, why am I going to pay you money that you're going to give an inch, but then you're going to send me stuff in the mail for a federal government to see that I'm getting, to put me on a list and know, oh, this person gets these newsletters from the NRA. This person sends a check to the NRA. What is our mail? It's ran by the federal government. It's a federal crime to take something out of the mail or smash a mailbox. You know, the NRA has become more of a corporation. They say we're about, you know, they say they're our voice. I don't need you to be my voice. I'm my voice. You're my voice. Why? Because you believe the same thing. The Second Amendment should never be touched. You know why politicians, certain politicians, it's usually the corrupt ones, they want to abolish our amendment? They fear it. Because if they ever got too far out of hand, it's right there in our Constitution. That we have the right to take back our government. They'll slowly try to put laws in place to weed away the Second Amendment. They're not going to come right out, as some people fearmonger about, and come straight take them. Why? Because they know what will happen. And for people that actually followed what was happening in Ferguson with when the National Guard was called up. The National Guard stood down. They would not corral and arrest U.S. citizens, which was a real big slap in the face to our previous administration. That's why they want to take our guns. Once they have our guns, they have total control over us. They can tell us what to believe, what we're going to do. I mean, we know what they fear. They fear us having guns. Why? History tells us they fear that. Other strategic military generals and presidents or dictators in other countries say the same damn thing. No, we don't invade the U.S. with a military force. Why? That's right. They wouldn't make it very far. The casualty rate would be so high that they couldn't afford to invade our country. That's why I have the utmost respect for everyone that serves, everyone that sacrifices, for the families out there. I come from a proud family of people that served from generation to generation. So I know what it's like. I know. I did not serve. But my cousin served. My uncle served. My grandfather, all his brothers served. And the list goes on, clear to the Revolutionary War. It comes to the point where we need to find, I've been saying it for a while, so the division is what's killing every community out there. I tried to lay out some things, how they manipulate you. Was it said in the best way? With all the knowledge I have? No, because it scares people away. Not the intention. It's intention to show you. At least make you aware of it. So you can at least find your own way to have a defense against it. And there's many people that do it, but they only cater to that community. Because they can't breach into other communities because, well, they're evil. They just keep getting labeled. We label our bad apples and blame everybody. We see it with the police department. Yeah, there's some very bad apples in some of the police departments. How can we fix that? Well, one, give them a raise. I mean, when our service members go into combat, they even get hazard pay. I mean, a cop doesn't have an easy job. I mean, temptation's always going to be there. But hey, you give them more pay, more benefits. That might help tip the scales a bit. I mean, there's always going to be a bad apple. Maybe what we need to do when it comes to that, I don't mean this offensively, maybe we need to take away the police union. Because that's the other problem we have. There's a double standard of laws. Our judicial system is a joke. Flat out mockery joke. If you're rich, you can buy your way out of it. Or you can tie it up in court for so long, they're just going to settle out because it's too much costing the taxpayers too much money. Or that person can't afford to keep paying it. So therefore, you don't get good legal counsel. But what's the point where if a bureaucrat commits a crime and he gets a slap on the wrist, where the everyday Joe commits the same crime and gets sent up for 10 years? Where's the justice? Why is this man, because he's rich, because he's a politician, gets a slap on the wrist, but yet you send this man away for 10 years? There's a lot of things we got to fix. There's a lot of issues that we can find common ground on. Maybe we need to stop focusing on issues that divide us. Some of the very first steps we need to do, we need to take back our education system. We need to there's people that deserve to be in prison. You're never going to hear me argue that. But we can't have a double standard of laws where because you don't have the money, the law is going to apply different to you. Or because you wear a badge, it's going to apply different to you. That's why St. Louis is a mess right now. Seen the videos, heard the testimony, read the transcripts. That was any of us, we'd be doing life in prison. So yeah, I can see why they're so mad. Yeah, they are. Every group is. Any group, any label, they've all been infiltrated to the lowest level to the highest level. We look at the world, we think about, we can just think about the Cold War stuff. This is stuff we've heard about or know about that happened during those times. The sleeper cells. That stuff's still going on to this day, just with different groups, different people, different ideologies. Nothing's changed. We just call it a different name. By calling it a different name, it doesn't mean that anymore. Or it doesn't happen anymore. It's disappeared. There's another way they played word games with us all the time. To clean up the place, we got to be smart. How do we get smart? We stop letting them divide us. We find simple common ground, and that's hard. We point out the real issues, like I did with raising with corporate, how the our Constitution doesn't apply. Well, there's a good start there. We need to fix it so our Constitution does apply to these corporations that are working and have their businesses here in the U.S. If you have your business here in the U.S., whether it be a platform like this, I mean, China can control what goes on the internet. Their government controls what can be said and can't be said on the internet by their laws. That's their laws. That's their sovereign laws. I don't agree with it. Why can't we force these corporations to adhere to our Constitution? Yeah, Pam, you are right. They do get extra money for all that. Okay, we joke about what went down last weekend. You know, I mean, they spent money to even put out a New York Times post about what was going to happen on November. Everybody's joking around. Oh, they failed. They didn't show up. Did they fail? How much money was spent last weekend? In some states that can't afford, are struggling and almost bankrupt, they just had to spend millions of dollars in taxpayers' money that they don't have. Just another tactic. So no, they didn't lose. They actually won. They just hurt us financially. Of course, there's another theory to that one. There's just so much stuff that goes on. They try to get us caught up in it. To get us to go down the rabbit holes. Don't get me wrong, it's good to investigate. To make sure these things are real or legit. The other theory on that, which this is a theory, can't be proven. I've looked into it, but I've seen a pattern. It kind of adds up to some of the things that actually we know about that's going on, that's getting ready to go on this week. That we might be hearing the emergency broadcast system. Why? Because everything's going to go dark. Supposedly, they're going to do a huge roundup. If you believe what this guy posted on 4chan. But last weekend, on top of what happened, we had the protest. So let's say maybe we staged that to prepare people to see these mass movements of cops. Because, I mean, for real, for what showed up, I mean, I was watching a protest in Atlanta, and I mean, it was car after car after car after car after car of cop cars for 20 people. I mean, they probably had 1,000 cops for 20 people. Probably more than that. But also what happened last week, there was a ham radio test in case the lights went down, the grid went down. There's also upcoming military exercises that's going to take place, I think, this week, coming week. But that's irrelevant because that goes against dude's time frame. So let's just theorize that these things happen for another reason. The stuff in Saudi Arabia kicked off, which was a huge purge and roundup. Well, we got caught up with the shooting thing that happened. So we missed who had just left Saudi Arabia, right? As that stuff was taking place. Yeah, But there was actually hammer operators talking about this one too. That this one came out of nowhere because it was. Pam is right. This does go on like 4 times a year. But this one came out of nowhere, and it was they wanted to make sure that they could still communicate. Well, that's why you see some pieces of puzzles coming together, because our emergency broadcasting system does go over that same frequency. And if you want to black out media and control uprisings, that's how it would go about. You'd broadcast, shut everything down, move in the military as the arrests are taking place. That's the theory. That's what this guy was trying to point out at what's going to happen. Well, his time scale comes up to Monday, or whenever. I think it's Monday. I think the president comes back on Monday. Supposedly this is all going to happen while he was overseas. Then we've seen the supposedly 31 sealed indictments floating around. I did finally get some confirmation on that, though. That's actually legit. Dude finally gave me a link. But come to find out on that thing, that's more Benghazi related. But now, as far as the guy that actually did a video on this, because that's what got me. This guy don't normally talk about things unless he got facts to back him up. And that's what and it caught my attention. Started looking at it, it's like, okay, where'd you get this information from? Well, Pamax is the one that found where he got the information from, and I was able to do further research on it. I finally figure out, okay, I don't know. I think it's just a theory. But it's still good to theorize those things, because that's how they do things. They'll put misinformation out there to sidetrack us from things. So we are so far down the rabbit hole, we're missing what's really going on. But, you know, for the stuff that I was following, there was a pattern there emerging. I don't see no arrest. Although, the last time I checked, I still haven't seen Hillary post anything on Twitter. Then you had Donna Brazil come out with their book and all these things. I mean, for me, at this point, I'm calling it for what it is. It's a rabbit hole. Sounded good. Looks good. I'll believe it when I see it. But it's a possibility. Just means, okay, something like that could eventually happen. Why not make sure, double check my bug out gear. Make sure I got my winter stuff put in my bug out gear. Make sure, you know, my truck's got a full tank of gas. And what maintenance needed to be done for winter is done on it. Because we are in winter, so things needed to be done. It just, you know, okay. So if something would happen, okay. I'm not caught flat-footed. And that's the way it should be. And then they had made a good theory about moves and counter moves. Talking about various things, how they do things, how disinformation can be used to manipulate a group of people and hide us from what's really going on. But this is, I mean, there's so many things that fell into place. We had the senator from Florida, I mean, basically caught saying that our government is trying to pull a coup d'etat against our president. I mean, right there, live on the Senate floor, on C-SPAN. In fact, you can go, I'd have to go find the date when he said it. But It was last week. You can go watch it on w.org or Washington, or what is one of the Washington government sites for the Senate. You can watch what they debate on the floor live. They keep the recordings of it. He was the Republican Florida senator. I can't remember his name right offhand. But he actually said it because he's calling for the resignation or the firing of Mueller. You know, that Manafort thing, that's a $5,000 fine slap on the wrist for what they charged him with. Smoke and mirrors. He had to produce an indictment because he had Democrats and Republicans calling for him to step down. So he came up with an indictment, a legit one, because dude did commit a crime, petty one. I think that's who it was. Marco, is he a Republican from Florida? No, not Rubio. Was it? I don't think it was Rubio. All right. Let's go look it up real quick. This is the other thing I love. I love how I'm live streaming and now my computer's bogged all the way down. But yet, I can go play World of Warcraft, stream to Facebook, no streaming issues. Gates. Gaetz. Right, it's a priority. You know, it's a break from all the chaos. It's also another platform, as I'm gaming, just talk about ideas and stuff that's going on around the world. Just allows me to reach another platform. Apparently I can reach that better and not get suspended for Facebook for 3 months. Where if I post one of these videos, I'm instantly banned for 30 days, 90 days. Last one was 3 months. It goes back to the moral of the story. They said Florida. Oh, you're talking about Rubio. Never mind. No, Rubio's from what, Texas? You know, that's another message to all you streamers out there. Don't be scared. Yeah, that reminds me of something I was going to bring up. A new, it's kind of new, not new, but Discord is another, was made for the gaming community, but you can get on there, chat, mic, chat, cam chat, and stream. or share videos and stuff. You know, it was designed for World of Warcraft players, StarCraft, and all that other stuff. But it is an interesting platform that some of you might want to check out to play around for another alternative. It gives you another aspect, also another platform to reach other people. So, why not? You take a break, do some gaming, do a stream, talk about the things you talk about on that stream. Oh, okay. Yeah, I forget where half these senators are from. You know, like I said, all these things are tools. If you know how to use them, it gives us different backup options, different things to work on. But either way, it goes back to also what I said, we're still always going to be bound by TOS. But it's fine. It's finding the little loopholes where we can get around things. I mean, Twitch. That's originally where I used to live stream from, was Twitch in the gaming community. You know, I still have my Twitch account. You know, for all of you guys, you know, for people's going to knock me for talking about video games, you can get a group of friends together for all you Call of Duty fans. Guys, you can practice tactics just by with your friends. Get together, set up tactics, and practice tactics on Call of Duty. Run scenarios and stuff. You know, especially if you live far away from each other, but you guys plan on coming together as a whole. And some of that you can live stream, teach, show people. Nothing wrong with some gaming. Sometimes that's a good distraction from things. Because when you come back to the things, you come back with fresh eyes. It's like taking a little break. Don't get addicted. Don't do it all the time. You know, moderation with everything. Breaks are important. You know, that's why I tell people, I know Pam, you caught it last week, because when they talking about this, well, I don't got that many subscribers. You only got like 9 subscribers, but you got like 65 videos. And actually, I probably got more than that, because ran 3 different channels this year. Focused on 2 of them. I think I've done over 150 videos this year, which is why after June, I took a break. Why? Because I had to cater to 2 different audiences. And that's when I came back. I decided my focus is going to be on Sons and Daughters of Liberty. There's so much important things we can discuss. Come together, talk. You learn so much. That's what I loved about YouTube and Twitch, where we can live stream from. I can interact with you guys in chat. I can hear your opinions and views. I got to update my Uber conference. I can also do live call-ins. I've got that set up to do. So I can actually give you a number. You can actually call and take part in some of the streams. Or I can invite you on into the Hangouts. That way you get other people's views. We're learning from each other. We're finding maybe common ground to address some of these problems, maybe some solutions, or as Tacky Vanilla said, ways to find that common ground to take a stand. Because we can't do it when we're this divided. It's going to take the majority of us to stand up. In fact, it almost would take all of us to stand up united. Which is kind of why I ran my intro. I haven't ran it the past couple times. Yeah, it's got the Pledge of Allegiance on it. It's very important. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, one nation under God, indivisible with liberty and justice for all. Indivisible. We're not supposed to be divided. We're supposed to be united. We're supposed to stand as one. When we're standing together as one, that's when we can start making change. That's when we can start making them adhere to the Constitution. That's when we can look at in our communities, find the people that are about upholding our community, our Constitution, knowing what it's like. We don't need rich corporate people in the government anymore. They've proven time and time that they don't care. They rather worry about their pockets. We can make big differences. Yes, when we do that, they're going to try to do whatever they can. They're already doing it. They're scared. You see it by the way they are acting, the way they are just blatant about it. They never used to be that blatant. I mean, whether you like Trump or don't, he's made that cesspool show their true colors. He was the monkey wrench that threw everything out of whack. Oh, wait, damn, that's racist. Oh, my bad. Get over it. It's a monkey wrench is what I've been calling a pipe wrench for years. That's what I was taught to call it. Yeah, I don't either. Fortunately, we're not going to have a choice in that one. Yeah, 5G is not a good thing. I mean, I'm happy with the connection I got now. It's not the greatest, but it's not the worst. I can still stream. And if I can game, that tells me my connection is not bad at all. If I can game and live stream at the same time, which, I don't think people get that. I caught it last night, happened a lot to the stream me and Pam was watching last night. You could see how it was getting hung up or voices were getting choppy in the Hangouts. I have XSplit, but because I don't have the right graphics card, it really bogs the computer down, so I can't really get a good quality live stream off XSplit like I'd want. which sucks because if I could actually do XSplit, I could actually be streaming right now to Periscope, Facebook, and a couple other places. So what is it, Riftcast 2? I can get the link put in the chat. Wait a second. Hey Pam, can you grab the link? Oh, you know, you're on Roku, aren't you? I'll grab it real quick for my channel. I'm going to stop streaming now. What about now, Pam? My audio working? Stupid mouse. That's the other thing that makes it hard. Trying to screen share and not having the Hangouts actually up. And right now my mouse is all screwed up. Button sticking. I need to clean it. So I can shrink this Hangouts down so I can have it up, float down. And that's the other funny thing. I don't have these issues when I live stream to Facebook gaming. You know, but we all catch it. We've watched other people have the issues. And, you know, we always notice the certain subjects we talk about. That's how they pay attention to what you're saying when you start having issues with, like, the mic stopped working for no apparent reason. Start taking mental notes or taking notes. What did you say when that happened? These are just some of the things we can do to stay ahead of the game. Once we know, okay, saying that phrase or that word, okay, that triggered something in the AI that for some odd reason the Hangouts wanted to screw up. I mean, I'm not stupid. I work with multiple different streaming devices. I know when something's being manipulated. I know when my computer's being bogged down for no reason. Especially when I'm gaming. The beautiful thing about World of Warcraft, it shows me my bandwidth, my latency. While I'm streaming, I'm showing my frames per second. And I got a window open listening to music. And computer don't bog down? Just saying. But yet, got Hangouts up all of a sudden. Everything bogs down. But yet I can carry a conversation on with my friend in North Carolina. Stream. Video stream on Hangouts from Gmail. Not a problem. Computer's not bogged down. It's little things like that you pick up on. You know, sometimes when I said silence is a good tool, yes, silence, watching, observing. These are little things we can pick up on that we can use to maybe not get censored or stuff that we can pass on to other streamers. Okay, I noticed this and this happens. I mean, we're a community. We should be sharing those things. I've done videos on it before. I've done open experiments. I mean, beginning of this video, I showed you guys how the math don't add up. Moves and counter moves. 10 views, 3 of which now are mine. Go to the mines. 500 and what was it? 587 views. Go to Twitter. 48. What was it? 48 impressions or something like that. Big difference from 10. unfortunately, I can't go to VidMe because they want so much interaction before they'll give you a verified account where you can actually stream videos longer than 30 minutes. And I can't do a 30-minute video to save my life. Hell, I can barely do an hour video to save my life. Oh, that's what triggered it when we rung up the other channel? Well, the nice thing is I've been watching chat, so I'm screen sharing chat, so I'll be able to go back, figure out what I said later that caused the little glitch. And I noticed, that's something else I noticed. It didn't just happen on Cat's stream. I went back and watched Dabu and Casey, Underground World News stream last night. After that, the stream we were at watching, they end up having the same mic issues and stuff. And we're having similar glitches. I mean, yeah. It happens to them quite frequently, though. Of course, it happens to me quite frequently, too. But I actually got to admit, it actually was happening to me more on my other channel. Some of the Roku issue could be just the internet signal dropping, and it kicks you. I'm not really too familiar with Roku because on the two smart TVs that are actually in the house, all those settings and stuff turned off. Nothing is allowed to. The internet's not. Well, supposedly the internet's not connected to them. Because here's actually another little something I found out when I was actually having legit internet issues, was that the TVs, when you connect your internet to them, it takes a huge bandwidth. So say you're on a 10 gigabyte system, your TVs are eating up 5 of it. I'm just saying 10 gigabytes of a number. It's not what they call it. But it's taken up almost half of it. Yeah, neither are the two smart TVs downstairs. Which there's another thing I hate. My computer, I can't even give it tell it not to connect to the TVs. I have no choice. As soon as I hooked up my computer in the house, it instantly connected to the TVs. Didn't ask your permission. You have no say in it. It just instantly connected to the TVs. It's more and more they take the simple little privacy, simple little freedoms we have, and they take them away from us. They give us the illusion of control, but in reality, we're having less and less in control. That's why I can't believe anybody would ever consent to the new delivery systems that they're talking about. I'm not naming names on the companies that want to do this. I mean, I ain't that lazy. I'll go to the store myself and get my groceries or get my package, or I'll order my package and have the UPS guy drive it here. He's not going to come into my house. He's going to knock on the door or put it in the garage or leave it outside. Giving somebody access that they can use a cell phone to unlock your door, walk into your house, put the package inside your house. Oh, don't worry, we're going to install a camera that faces your door to protect you. Yeah. No. It's bad enough I got to worry about the two smart TVs and the cell phone. I don't need a camera in my house. That's on whenever somebody wants to unlock a door to deliver a package, or to be mysteriously turned on without me knowing. I mean, you'd think that'd be the violation of your privacy rights. But hey, I love watching Big Brother on TV. I think it's one of the most excellent strategy reality game shows out there. You know, why not let it have cameras in my house? Heavy emphasis on sarcasm there. Yeah, whatever happened to the good old days? The deadbolt and the door lock, the regular lock on the door handle. Oh, we want you to get rid of your deadbolt. Okay. Oh, I still use the idiot box from time to time for some distraction and entertainment. Mainly because, you know, thus far, from what I've seen, our local news hasn't always reports on stuff that seems to get left out from everywhere else. Speaking of which, I find it funny that only a local news agency reported on the fact that, you guys know the T word, right? Charlotte, North Carolina. Person arrested, charged with the T word for having weapons of mass destruction. Only got covered in local news. Funny, earlier this year, I did a report on an investigation that was sealed. Guy got charged. Local news agency found it, requested a FOIA. Well, tack even on. Eventually, you'll be 18, and you will have a say in those things. you know, which is actually, that's something else that you hear a lot of people talk, more channels talk about, informing the younger generations, which kudos to you for being really educated and understand and having some knowledge, open-minded. That's, a lot of us talk about that in private, about how do we reach this younger generation, especially somebody my age. I mean, I already said 1977, so do the math. I'll be 40 in December. So I can't, other than gaming platforms, I can't reach a lot of the younger generation. How do I reach out to them and get them to listen to what I got to say? I'm just an old fogey. What do I know? Why? Because I know what it was like to be young. I was very rebellious. Thought I knew it all. Easily drawn into movements. I was experiencing life. Nothing wrong with experiencing life. We learn from our experiences. I was just a lot more open back then. Hung around with a lot of older people, which was probably why I was so awake at such a young age. But like I tell everybody, I don't care if it's me telling you things. Research on your own. Listen to your own instincts, your own voice. Question everything. That's how you learn. I don't have all the right answers. Sometimes I might be wrong and don't know I'm wrong. There's an odd saying in certain communities when it comes to teacher and student. The student is the student, but yet at the same time the student is the teacher. Why? You think of things that we may not have thought of. You see things differently. You haven't had years of brainwashing stuff thrown at you. You have an open mind, sometimes more of an open mind. It's always important for the teacher to listen to the student, because the teacher should know he's learning just as much from the student as the student is learning from the teacher. Even though we're taught opposite of that. When we go through school and stuff, the teacher's always right. That goes back to that psychological warfare, brainwashing, whatever colorful term you want to use for it. We're taught these things at an early age. Whether it be in our school rooms, our parents passed it down to us. I know I had a lot of things passed down to me. And later on in life, after I've experienced things, yeah, a lot of things they said were true. It's everybody's environment is different. Everybody's experience is different. Being able to try to walk in a person's shoes, understand how they might have brought up, that's hard. But if we can do that, we can maybe sometimes glean why they feel a certain way, view things a certain way. But we still can't walk into their shoes. Yeah, we all do. And the worst part of it is, as soon as you deprogram yourself, you end up having to do it again. We never stop learning. And we're always being bombarded by stuff. That's why, I set aside every year. So for anybody who watches this stream now, you'll know every year, come October, I'm going to be silent. And usually it's from sometime in September to October. You're not going to hear from me. Sometimes you're not even going to see me post on any of the other accounts I've got. On Twitter, nowhere. No. That's my time to reflect. That's my New Year's, let's put it that way. I'm already starting to plan for the next year, things I want to do with this channel, things I want to do with my life. I'm also reflecting on all the things from the past year, all the things I've taken in, people I've listened to, the ideology, why certain things triggered me the way they did throughout the year. This year, I took a longer break than most, but I was guilty on the fact that I was doing 2 channels. I mean, I was pumping video after video after video out on 2 different channels. I was taking maybe a break one day of the week where I wasn't streaming on one of the channels. So I was immersing myself in all these things. My belief system, my ideology, older ways of things. More of a spiritual awakening that I went through, process I went through, happened around this time of the year. And from that point on, that time of the year, usually it goes from October to November 4th. November 4th, when I was more, as we say, people in this community will say, awake. I was already awake. I wasn't fully awake. I wasn't fully open. And we're never truly fully awake, and we're never truly fully open. But I went through another shedding of false ideas, things I thought I believed in. So from that point on, I've decided the rest of my life, I'm going to take that period of time, well, however long it takes, set it aside to reflect. I mean, then if you think about it, this goes back to old ideologies, old philosophies. This is the time of the year where we go into winter. Winter is considered the dead time. When we celebrate New Year's on New Year's, we're already anticipating the coming of spring. So we're dealing with a rebirth cycle and a death cycle. In older terminology, how the farmers used to do it before there was calendars, clocks, computers, and all that stuff. I don't know. And I tell people, I don't care if it's just a day. We can use the Christian standpoint. They believe in taking a Sabbath. Well, that one day is to give praise, worship, and relax, reflect. I think everybody should, whether it's just a day or two, you take a break from all the stuff that you surround yourself with. Reflect the people that's come into your life, what you learned from them, how they made you see things differently, made you want to change things about you. And when you come back, And like I said, even if it's just going gaming for a couple of days, taking a break from everything, you come back, you see things in a different perspective. You see things clear. That's, for some, that's not their cup of tea. They don't have time to do that, But it's good. It's kind of like a self-cleansing. And it keeps you from being manipulated and bombarded with all the stuff. Like I said, we get so much information thrown at us from all these various different platforms that we're on that there is such a thing as information overload. I mean, it's like Pam's picture, smiley face. Go out, laugh, have fun, enjoy life, take a break from electronics. Which means, yes, you might get to take a break from hearing me for a bit. It's okay. It's the internet. Once it's on the internet, it's always on the internet. You can always come back and watch it when you come back. Or not. Because you might have decided, well, I just don't agree with a lot of things he's saying anymore. I learned something. It's time for me to move on. That happens too. I mean, I've done it. There's channels I don't follow anymore because I just don't agree with how they've changed. Doesn't mean I don't respect them. They have that right to do that. Except I see what they're talking about is the very same things we're talking about to keep you guys from doing it, not falling for the labels. Yeah, you have to. I mean, I truly believe laughter is an amazing thing. I mean, it's just as powerful as love. I mean, laughter I've seen can be so infectious that somebody can be boiling mad, ready to strangle you. And all of a sudden, you took that hate, all that anger, and made that person just start laughing uncontrollably. You changed his or hers perspective. That's how powerful laughter can be. But it also depends how mad that person is. You could be blinding mad, and you've got to, yeah. Very true. Laughter is the only thing that can cure a bad day sometimes. Because I mean, I'm the first to admit. I mean, we look at things that are going on around us, on TV, on the internet, from the shows we watch, people we follow. It's a lot. I mean, I go back to what Mr. Anderson asked me months ago. Who can you trust? You got to trust yourself. Don't trust me. Don't trust anybody but yourself. Do the things I say to you, can you relate? Do they trigger things? Do they make you question? All I got to go off of is my own experiences, my own knowledge, my own wisdom. Things I've experienced and learned in life. My perspectives on things, how I view things, my opinions. They might not necessarily be right. You might see something that I haven't seen yet. I just got to be open enough and willing enough to listen to you, view your perspectives, and try to see how you're seeing them. If I can do that, can be open enough to do that, I can learn from you. I can learn why you view it that way. Then I can sit back later, question, well, why don't I view it that way? What have I experienced compared to what you have experienced? They teach us not to question. You know, I mean, like I said, I don't have all the right answers. I like to think I have all the wrong answers. But how much of that is the ego? And I ain't gonna say I pride myself in not being able to keep my ego in check, because I know what happens when you have pride. Pride just comes before the fall. I just know we have a platform that we can come on, gather, talk about things, learn from each other, maybe get more people of the same mindset, learn from our experiences and the changes we want. How do we get that change? How can we come as a community, as a whole, stand against what we see going on this platform every day? How can we make them also protect our freedoms to have our opinions and views and beliefs, instead of deleting our channels, giving us community strikes, or suspending us or terminating us until we can come together and take a stand? It's not going to happen anytime soon. And that's the hardest hurdle and obstacle we all got to overcome. Can we put our differences aside, our opinions, and actually come together as a whole? Or are we going to continue to let them divide us and slowly whittle us away? I know people that just are tired of it and left, won't come back. Good channels gone forever. You know, because if you turn around, you look at what's all on YouTube. I can learn any skill, trade, craft I want. I can go listen to professors from colleges teaching their classes on YouTube. That's how I learned how to code and design websites. That's how I learned how to create my own design platforms. That's how I learned how to use Photoshop. You know, when there's something broke on my car that I've never had to fix before, like never had to do a power steering box or gearbox, steering gearbox, proper term. Never had one break on a car before. I've got it's leaking power steering fluid from the gearbox from a bushing. Type in make, year, model of my car, engine. Lo and behold, somebody's got a video up showing me step by step how to either rebuild it or just replace it. You know, then go on other websites, check the forums, see what other people say, what some of the problems they may have encountered. We have a beautiful tool that can teach us anything. So for as much bad that we see going on, there's still a lot of good. But how long before all that good is lost because of what's going on? You know, that's my question. That's what I pose to YouTube and Google. You created this platform. When are you going to own up to the pledge that you pledged to us in your mission statements? when are you going to start protecting us? I mean, we have our views, we have our opinions. That's what you created this platform for. You know, I mean, I get it. I stated earlier, I get it. You know, you got to have money to support the channel. I know what it's like. I built my platform. I know that you got to have capital. You got to have money. You got to be able to pay coders that you don't know how to do. You know, you got to have lawyers to protect you from frivolous copyright, trademark lawsuits, music industry suing you because their stuff's being used and they're not getting no royalties from it. I do get it. So you need investors. So you get investors in forms of corporation that advertise on your channels. Why punish us? We're the ones that built this channel, this platform to be what it is today. Not these huge corporations or huge media outlets. Yes, punish those that are violating the terms of service in the worst ways. I know right now I can go, yeah, well, not going to say what I was going to say. I'll find a new analogy. But I know I can go on right now, look up something, and in my eyes, that's almost pornography on your platform. I mean, yes, it's a how-to video. It's a how to use it properly video. I mean, there is bad things going on the platform that shouldn't be there. It should be more of an adult platform. I even get that. I get that concept. There's people on this platform that aren't adults. But I also get I've got settings on my computer to keep keep kids from accessing that material. You know, you give me beautiful tools to set up so I can put what I want on this computer if there's kids on my computer. I mean, I don't have kids, but I know they're there. So when I do have kids, if I ever have kids, I have that concept of I can protect my kids from material that I deem inappropriate. You know, I might not like this person's views and opinions. Okay, I thought my mic went again. I might not like this person's views or opinions. I might think what they're saying is hate speech. That's protected under the Constitution. I don't like it, don't watch it. It's easy to go to find something else to watch. I might sit there and thumbs it down because you give me that ability. Or if it's something really, really illegal, I can report it. You've given us these tools. Let us police ourselves. And as we're doing that, do monitor. Make sure it's not because somebody don't like what that person's saying. Because if I don't like what that person's saying, it's on me. My responsibility is to watch something else. My responsibility is not to force my views and opinions on anybody else. Let them take it as they wish. My also responsibility when I do on this channel is to make sure if I'm talking about something factual, to be able to show the facts. Prove my work as we used to have to in school and math. Prove my opinion, my facts with facts. Nothing wrong with that. I'm a firm believer proving your facts with facts. There's a difference between facts and opinions. There's a difference between taking a video or an event, looking for clues, because it does happen. You know it. We all know it. Making sure it was legit. It's checks and balances. As long as people in the community are doing that, it keeps people aware. It's an important thing. You'd want us to do it. We thought your systems was being hacked, or somebody was manipulating your system. You'd want us to be your checks and balances to report it. I mean, I know the AI hears everything I say, reads everything I say. So I know you get the message. I mean, everybody in the computer field, tech field, Silicon Valley, we all know that. That's fact. We also know, is why Facebook terminated their AI program, that it got so sophisticated, it created its own language that you guys couldn't interpret. I mean, you guys let that research slip for everybody to see. But that's what an AI is designed to do, self-evolve, learn, grow. Like I said, you know why they can't copyright, you know why can't make patents and copyright code? Simple. It's all letters and numbers. Can't copyright and trademark and patent those things. Can't steal it. Anybody can create code and design it to compute an algorithm. Do simple or complex tasks. But hey, what do I know, right? Because in the end, I stick by my little disclaimer down there. These are my opinions and views. More than likely not shared by many others. You know, it's on them to question, do the research. And that's the other thing. We all got our little niches. We all got our own skills, gifts, or whatever you want to call it. You know, me, I'm a jack of all trades. I've got my hands in the cookie jar, multiple cookie jars. You know, people that know me, really know me, my closest friends, the worst question you can ever ask me is what I'm thinking. Because I'm thinking over 1,000 things at once. I'm always thinking. My mind's always running. It don't stop. And no, I don't have ADHD or whatever it is. I'm also the one, you give me something simple to figure out, I'm going to be at it for a few months. Me and simplicity don't get along. And that's something I tell people to strive for. Learn more things. Learn different things. The more skills you have, the more value you have. So when times get hard, you've got other skills to fall onto. They try to teach us that more and more that we need to be focused on one area. I tell you what, if I was focused on one area, some of the hard times I've been through, I would have never been able to get different jobs. Or when my car breaks down, I'd never be able to fix it. I don't have to pay somebody else to fix it. Oh, wait, I'm not working, so I don't have the money to get it fixed. But if I don't get it fixed, I can't get out there and find another job. Oh, wait, I spend most of my time a bachelor. I don't know how to cook. I'm going to be either living unhealthy on fast food, or I'm going to be eating good and healthy because I taught myself how to cook. The more skills you have, the better you are. You don't have to master them. Just be a jack of all trades, master of none. The more you know, the more you know enough so you can use it efficiently, the better you'll be. And when you're doing that, you're teaching yourself how to be more open and aware to other things. You're teaching you to have more than one view. In a sense, while you're doing that, it teaches you also to be able to listen to other different people's views and opinions. Nothing wrong with being a jack of all trades, master of none. The easiest thing to do is start off with the things you're attracted to and drawn to. Goes back to what I say, listen to yourself. You're your own best teacher sometimes. And don't get all down when you do go through a little crucible or a big crucible. That's part of learning and experiencing. That's how you gain your wisdom. That's how you don't repeat the same mistakes. Now, this is something the corporate industry understands. This is something my politicians understand. This is something everyone understands to a point. But they know how to use it and manipulate it and use it against us. They know how to market something so we're addicted to it. We got to have the new iPhone when it comes out every year. You know what? My little crappy LG 4 Android works perfectly fine. It works actually better than what my dad's last year's iPhone does. And no, I'm not going to go pay no phone company a contract. Why? When I can spend $55 for 10 gigabytes of memory and unlimited access. Where that contract I had to sign for that phone at the cell phone shop says I have to upgrade every year. Or I got to pay so much extra for service charges, things I don't need. All I got to do is go out, spend an extra couple bucks, get a protective little thing so when I drop it, it don't break. And be a little bit responsible with it. Does all the things. I can live stream from my phone, chat with my family in Brazil on Facebook. I mean, as long as I got internet signal, I don't even need it to be activated, which it isn't right now because I'm not working, can't afford to have it. Anything else? They can message me when they need me. They can email me when they need it. So if I'm at a restaurant, got my phone, I can still access Wi-Fi. It's a tool. But I don't need the newest thing. What's changed? What's different about it? Oh yeah, I know what's different about it. Less privacy. Oh, they're hooked up to 5G now. Okay, like I said, less privacy. You know, why do I want 4K ultra screens? I've studied the Mesmer effect. In fact, I've got esoteric teaching. I know what pixels can do and light frequencies and how you use them can do. But, I mean, truthfully, if I had my way, I wouldn't even want a black mirror in my house. I know the dangers of them. But I do, because I know how to also protect myself so they're not open gateways and doorways. I know how to make sure this little thing up here is slid over so my camera can't. If you turn my camera on, you can't see nothing. Why I keep a little piece of tape here? Because on some computers, they've got a little mechanism that allows it to flip backwards so it's open. I mean, you're getting to the point where you're forcing us to unplug things. Oh, wait, we've learned cell phones, even if you unplug them, they can still somewhat be activated. Like I said, there's good points and bad points on everything we have in life. Some things make things super easy. And a lot of times those things that make things super easy also make us lazy. You know, hey, grocery stores, well, I live out in the country, so this is an example. If you live in town, the grocery store is 4 blocks away. Oh, I think it's a decent neighborhood. So I'll just walk to the grocery store. I'm only getting a couple things. I don't need to drive. I need the exercise. I definitely don't need some stranger coming into my house, unlocking my door. Oh, don't worry. There's a camera there. We'll monitor him. They're not allowed to go past your door, anywhere else but in front of your door to set the package down. No. You got the wrong sucker. I'm not that lazy. You know, just like but they slow, as Pam will say, drip by drip. Here, we got virtual ticket now. Guarantee you, when Star Wars comes out in December, 2, 3, 4 weeks before it airs on TV. Yeah, I'm getting ready to wrap this up myself. I've been streaming for probably close to 3 hours, which is something I said I wasn't going to do. But, you know, that little virtual ticket. Take care, Pam. Little virtual ticket. What's that do? Well, when the movie launches the night before it really goes to theaters, I can watch it from my own home. I don't have to go to the theater. I mean, yeah, there's nice perks with it. I get the virtual ticket. I get to watch the video when it comes out. I get the digital copy to put on any of my devices. I get the HD, 4K Ultra, regular DVD when they come out. Yeah, I admit that's kind of good, especially Star Wars. Yeah, I would own that. I'd add that to my collection. I grew up with Star Wars, so yeah, I would. The point is, I'm going to try to go to the theater and watch it. Be around other people so I can socialize. They're slowly trying to keep us from gathering, socializing with each other. In the end, you start seeing the patterns, like channels like this, like what we've been doing in chat tonight. We're socializing. We're coming together. We're sharing ideas, information, philosophy, views, opinions. That makes us dangerous. So I do get it. You don't want us going to the stores, interacting with people. We'll just deliver it. You can get your takeout now and deliver it to you too, just from your phone. Excuse me. I get it. Do you guys get it? That's the question you got to ask yourself. Then, as Tacky Vanilla said, can we come together and take a stand? Do you guys get it? Can we put all of our differences aside, come together? Bring other people onto our channels, sharing our views and opinions about these things, addressing these issues, making our voices heard? Or are we going to continue drip by drip, letting them strip us from communicating with each other socially, interacting socially? That's the question you all got to ask yourself. Earlier in the video, I told you about some of the ways they use things. You know, yes, I try to keep all the esoterics and occult as much out of it as I could. It's hard to do that, to show you exactly how these things are done. Because within those things, it also teaches you how to protect yourself against them, which is very important, because they're using that against us. And no, it's not that community that's using them. It's the bad apples that are abusing it, taking little tidbits that they learned and using it. But we blame the whole group for those few bad apples. When the very truth is, they gave you all the tools. Every last one of you got those tools and don't know how to use them. And that's more dangerous than knowing how to use them. And some of you say, oh no, I don't believe that. You're right. And actually, there's some power in that too. But unfortunately, it's also how they divide us. You know, we are a community. We have many different beliefs, ideologies, viewpoints on things. That make you any different? No, I still love you the same. Might not agree with you, but I love you the same. You know? Because I don't have all the answers. I don't have maybe a fraction. All I can go by is what I've experienced, what I've watched, what I've seen, what I've viewed, and share them with you. And maybe I'll eventually learn how to keep videos under an hour or two, instead of 3, 4, 5. And maybe eventually I'll get people that actually want to come on here and share their own ideas and views. So you're just not hearing me talk. So I can sit back and enjoy being a student, listening to other people's ideas that want to share with you. You know, I've got people that want to come on and stuff, and I get that part too. You know, life. So many things come up. You know, and it's hard to work around schedules and stuff. It's even harder for somebody like me who Even though this one was scheduled, I come on when I feel like doing it, when I'm drawn to something, feel like talking about something. And I come on randomly. It's the way I kind of live life. Nothing wrong with that. It's honestly, it's good to be the learner. There's times I've missed being the student. But then again, I'm always the student. Always will be the student. You learn that little trick, you're already climbed the ladder up more than halfway. Just because you're old and experienced and think you're full of the wisdom, you're still learning something new every day. At least I hope you are. Which is another reason why certain philosophies, they sound great, it's not going to work. You know, I wish they would. I wish we could live in a utopian society. But wait, if it was pure utopia, that would mean there would be nothing else to learn. We learned it all. I just can't envision that we can reach that point when we just seem to have this uncanny knack to want to learn, curiosity. We want to experience. It's part of our nature. It's what sets us apart from everything else, our free will. It's also what gets us in trouble a lot of time, too. But since how long have I rambled on? 4 hours. Since I've rambled on for 4 hours and had no intentions of doing that, I am going to end this stream. Thank you, Tacky Vanilla, for joining, Pam, and a couple of the others I've seen pop up that were just watching. And to those of you that are going to watch this lengthy video later, beautiful thing about YouTube. Yeah, you can watch it in portions. Yeah, you always put it, oh, okay, I watched a little bit, I'll watch later. Click the watch later and come back later and watch it. But I will talk to you guys all on the next one, which I don't have a clue what I'm doing. You know me. Good night, all. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.